What's happening, YouTube? KitePlanet here, but you could call me Kite.
Yeah.
Only if you're like that, because some people aren't like that, but I'm like that. I'm back at it again with another power system crossover. A little bit different this time because I haven't done a curse technique one in a minute. I've been sticking with Hunter x Hunter and all that stuff, but I want to reach a wide variety in all fan bases, not just Hunter x Hunter. I'm trying to hit a lot of subscribers. I'm trying to share the ideas with y'all. So I can't just stick with one verse. I gotta hit them all. Anyways, let's get some business out of the way real quick. If you haven't seen my power system crossover videos, there is a playlist and it has 15, 16 videos of me crossing over characters with different power systems from different verses and giving them abilities. If you're into that stuff, go check out that playlist. You might like it. And if you've been here before, you already know the deal. And if you've been here before, but not in a minute, check out my latest videos. I did Baki and Light Yagami and gave them each nin abilities respectively. Those videos will be linked at the end, probably, so you can check that out when you get time, if you want to. You don't have to. But as you can see by the title, I'm giving Hōjō Tokiyuki from the Elusive Samurai a curse technique. I like curse techniques. He made the short list. I know y'all been mentioning characters and all that stuff, but I was watching the Elusive Samurai and I saw him and I was like, boom, I got an idea for an ability. But what power system can I make this ability work with? Curse energy. It's gotta be. You'll see why in a second. But yeah, that's why he's making the list. If you haven't seen the Elusive Samurai, you can still watch this video. It's fine. I'm not going to be spoiling anything about the series, but those who have seen it will know why I gave him this ability. Those who haven't seen it, I mean, if you're a genius, you'll probably be able to put it together, but other than that, you probably won't really guess its exact nature. So you're fine. No spoilers. All right, let's get into it. So I don't need to figure out a nin affinity and waste all that time because this is curse energy. There's no point to that. Well, let's just decide for the sake of argument so we can have a prerequisite to the actual power. Let's just decide if this is an inherited technique or a innate technique. Obviously, no, not obviously. We're going to give it an inherited technique just to the nature of the bloodline and the station of Tokiyuki in his series, what he is. So a bloodline technique or inherited technique would be better suited for him, probably. So yeah, we're just gonna do that. All right, what's the name of Tokiyuki's technique? Right, the name's important. We gotta keep it simple. No complex names. They're stupid. I don't like them. And it's not very creative. You just go in the dictionary, look up some big words, and start putting it as an ability. No, those aren't the best ability names. The simple ones are. So I named this ability Lucky Fugitive. Pretty easy. Sounds like a curse technique, does it not? It does. Don't lie to me. Yeah, don't lie to me. Lucky Fugitive. Okay, so as you know, if you've been here before, let's break down the video. We're going to do what Lucky Fugitive is, how Lucky Fugitive works, the process of activation for Lucky Fugitive. We'll also get to some cons, and then there's a special ability towards the second half of this video, alternate ability, if you will, and that's going to be pretty amazing, so stick around for that. But let's get into it. As always, I start simple with what is Lucky Fugitive. All attacks directed at Tokiyuki will inevitably miss their target in some form or fashion. Right? That sounds super broken. Like every attack directed at Tokiyuki will miss. How? What? That's broken. That's cheating, Kai. Why would you even make some ability like that? Just, you know how it is. I simply explain it first, and then as we go on, you start to understand more. So bear with me. Walk with me real quick. Now, let's get to the how. How do all attacks miss Tokiyuki? How does that come into play? Allow me to explain it to you. Okay, so as long as he is moving or has no intent of retaliation, the attacks will miss. In other words, as long as he's trying to get away or escape from you, the ability takes effect. Right? The ability will take effect as long as he has no intent of retaliating against you, harming you, or if he's running away, in the act of running away or dodging, basically. Dodging, run away is the same thing. You may think, okay, easy way to beat that. Speed Blitz. Doesn't work. The ability will still take effect. It's not, but I say that not to say it's a passive ability. Let's talk about passive and active abilities. Passive abilities are something that's always on, always active no matter what. And then passive abilities are things you have to activate. So even though Six Eyes is not a curse technique, it's always active. So that's a passive ability, counterintuitive. It's always working, so it's passive. He doesn't have to do anything to activate it. Active abilities are infinity. It's something Hōjō has to activate at all times. He has to do it. Now, he's mastered to where it can work 24/7, 365 if he wants to. But that's just due to him. A normal limitless user is not capable of that. Hōjō was not capable of that in his youth. He got tired after a while. So that's an active ability. This is an active ability for sake of not making it too broken, because if any attack just misses him at all time, it'd just be way too broken. So he has to activate it. But even with that condition, it's still broken. Let's get to the process. All right. This is where things start to get down to the nitty gritty. All right. Let's go. So it's not so much as the attacks just miss. A certain effect is applied to the attack that redirects it. And that effect is Murphy's Law. If you've ever heard of Murphy's Law, it just simply states that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Does that make sense? So anything with any attack directed at Tokiyuki, it will go wrong. It will fail. The intent was to hit him, and therefore it will not hit him. And not only will it not hit him, but it's not just missing the mark. The attack can it can dissipate, it can straight up fail, or it can even backfire, right? Any outcome from its intended purpose is a possibility. So your attack, in the process of attacking Tokiyuki, you can even end up hurting yourself. So I'm using Hōjō as another example, because why not? Everybody knows Hōjō. If he launched up a blue, red, or purple and tried to launch it at Tokiyuki, it's within the realm of possibility that Murphy's Law will just blow his own technique up in his face. That's a possibility of it going wrong. He messes something up, and it just blows up and hurts him. It won't kill him because it's his own cursed energy, and we've seen Hōjō get hit by his own attack before, and he was fine. I won't say he was fine, but he was okay, right? He can heal himself without any long-lasting damage. But that's a possibility. So anybody attacking Tokiyuki that does not know his ability is in for a world of pain. Maybe. It's a possibility, right? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So if you would direct an attack at him, who knows what happened? It won't just miss. There are other possibilities. If you got allies around you, your shit can hit them. Who knows? Anything can happen. There are cons to this ability, of course. It can't just be super broken. And that is, like, the ability is not something you want to use around allies, because Murphy's Law has no discretion. So if Hōjō launched a purple at Tokiyuki, it would miss and hit his allies and blow up and hit them, but he'd be fine. So he's one of those guys that's like, you don't want to use his ability. If he was in Bleach, it'd be like, don't use your Bankai around allies because it can hurt allies. That's the type of curse technique Lucky Fugitive is. You don't want to use it around your friends because like inadvertently they can be collateral damage. And so yeah, the same also applies if he's practicing. He can't really practice combat because yeah, the person who's practicing with him gets good practice because they can launch and go their hardest at him, but the risk with that is way too great. You could launch an attack at him and it could miss and fly 100 freaking miles and kill somebody. Like, that's Murphy's Law. It's a possibility that could happen, and it will happen eventually. So way too dangerous to even practice with. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's pretty good. I know you're thinking like, oh, okay, like this ability is super unstoppable, Kite. Like how could you do it? But first of all, he has to be running away. He can't attack you. So it seems like an ability that he can't hurt you either. Sort of a stalemate unless out of the billions or trillions or quintillions of possibilities, you get unlucky enough to where you die as a result of attacking him. But like, what are the chances of that? I mean, pretty high, according to Murphy's Law. But it's not unstoppable. There are ways to defeat it without waiting for something to happen, right? I've come up with several methods to beat it, but I don't think it wouldn't be fun if I just told you those. And I know y'all are thinking like, Kai, you didn't come up with anyone, that's why you're letting us do it. Oh, I'll tell you one that I came up with. You remember when Gojo was fighting Sukuna and he launched a blue at him or red, whatever one, and it missed, but it stayed active. And then he launched a red and they came back behind Sukuna or next to Sukuna and blew up and created a purple. Like, neither one of those attacks at that time was intended to hit Sukuna, but they combined and still hit him. That would be similar to the case for attacking Tokiyuki, but let's say that he launched a blue. Gojo launched a blue at Tokiyuki. He had no intent of hitting him, so it went where he wanted it to go, and it was sort of next to Tokiyuki, and Tokiyuki's like, oh, my ability took effect. Like, his ability didn't hit me, it just wafted off to the left. And then he launches a red, boom, right at him with the intent to hit him. He hopes for the possibility that it won't dissipate, it won't backfire, and that it just redirects it, right? Which is a strong possibility. And when it does, it combines, becomes purple, and all together different attack, and blows up right next to Tokiyuki, damaging him, killing him maybe. So yeah, once purple becomes an attack, purple was a different attack. Like, it's not blue or red. It's a combination of both and its own attack. And like with all rights, all intents and purposes, purple is its own attack. And so once it becomes that, it becomes an attack that was not directed. Gojo didn't direct that purple. It was combined and created on its own. So it would blow up and it would hurt him. So that's one way. I thought of several other ways, but I'm going to let you guys see if you can come up with one to get past Lucky Fugitive. Drop in the comments and I'll decide, if you're right or if you might be reaching a little bit. But that's not it, guys. We are now in the second half of this video, and like I said, Lucky Fugitive is a active ability that isn't really used for offense. He has to go on defense. Simply, he has to go on defense and be passive for the ability to work. So how can he ever hurt anybody? Like, this ability is cool, but he's not really a combatant. Well, he is. Because have you ever heard of reverse curse technique? Yes, reverse curse technique, taking two different sources of curse energy, which are negatively charged, combining them together, making two negatives equal a positive, which is one source of positive energy, which can be used to heal. That's how it's used predominantly in the Jujutsu Kaisen verse, to heal people. Positive energy heals. That's one of the side effects of it. But that's reverse curse technique. Reverse curse technique, RCT. Have you ever heard of curse technique reversal, CTR? That's different than reverse curse technique, but it does encompass reverse curse technique, meaning it applies to reverse curse technique, but there's more than just creating that positive energy. So you've heard of this with Gojo. He uses curse technique reversal. Kenjaku's use curse technique reversal. So what it is you taking that positive energy and applying it to the negative or the cursed energy in your technique, thereby reversing the effects of your ability. So Gojo has lapsed blue. He took the gravity technique he got from his mom, and applied curse technique reversal to it, red, and used anti-gravity system, and that's negative or positive energy into blue, reversing its effect. It was magnetism, now it's repulsion. So that's curse technique reversal. So yes, Tokiyuki is getting curse technique reversal. Let's talk about it. Kenjaku also applied this. He took the gravity curse technique he got from Yuji's mom. Spoiler. Fuck, my bad, bro. Quick correction, it was actually the anti-gravity system curse technique that Kenjaku got from Yuji's mother. He applied curse technique reversal to that and made it gravity, so it starts to pull stuff in. Her original technique was probably to make stuff weightless, but he applied reverse curse technique reversal to it, and now it pulls stuff in like a black hole or gravity would. So yeah, I had to make a correction on that. I really know there's not an anime YouTuber that knows more about power systems than me. There's really not. They just regurgitate information they've read and memorized over and over again. Me, I can apply my knowledge and use what I know to actually create all new concepts entirely. That's different. That's the difference between us. I got applicable knowledge. They just have stored information. But damn, back to the video. Peace. Yeah, curse technique reversal. All right, so Tokiyuki applies curse technique reversal to his technique Lucky Fugitive and reverses the effects. So this is Tokiyuki's offensive ability. So what is the opposite of anything that can go wrong will go wrong? Right? How do you break that out? What's your interpretation of anything that can go wrong will go wrong? Flip that. It would be something like something that can't go right will go right. The opposite of anything is not nothing. The opposite of nothing, the opposite of nothing would be all. The opposite of anything would be one specific thing. So something that can't go right will go right. If that makes sense. Or you could say will not go right, whatever. But for this sake, we're going to say anything or something that can't go right will go right. That's what we're going to do. We're going to oppose, flip, and reverse Murphy's Law in my own way. So don't try to criticize it. This is my interpretation that I'm using for this video. So any attack Tokiyuki launches not at an enemy will hit the enemy. If that makes sense. So if Tokiyuki pursues you while aiming so that his attacks will always just miss you, they will always land flush and hit you because he's not aiming for you. So he pursues you, attacks you, and say he uses a sword, because he uses a sword, and he goes to just miss you, like just walk by your shoulder or something. He did not try to hit you. He tried to miss you. But since he tried to miss you, it's now going to hit you and damage you. So that's the curse technique reversal applied to Lucky Fugitive. And it's a new technique altogether, so we have to change the name, and we're going to name it Ill-Fated Captive. So the opposite of lucky would be like ill-fated or, you know, bad luck or whatever. We're going to say ill-fated. And then the opposite of fugitive, a fugitive is on the run. You have not caught them yet. So the opposite of that would be a captive. You could say prisoner as well, many different synonyms for it, but ill-fated captive. So a Lucky Fugitive, curse technique reversal, ill-fated captive. And so any attack, when he goes on the offensive, if he keeps trying to miss you, they will keep hitting you. And so that is so broken. I love this technique. This technique could be just a regular curse technique in and of itself. That would be super broken. But trying to miss people in that split second, you might get damaged. So this is not like, he doesn't have that defense. He's reversed his technique. He can apply both of them and switch them. So he can apply Lucky Fugitive in the moment and then switch to Ill-Fated Captive and attack. But I'm going to say for power scaling sake that he cannot use both of them at the same time, because clearly, you know, broken. We can't do that. So yeah, curse technique reversal of the technique Lucky Fugitive equals Ill-Fated Captive. Ill-Fated Captive, where Tokiyuki chooses to attack you, but he chooses to miss you with all of his attacks. Boom, not trying to hit you. If he shot an arrow, if you're right in front of me and I shoot an arrow over there with Ill-Fated Captive active, it will somehow come back and hit you. However that may happen, Murphy's Law opposite. However it's supposed to happen, it's gonna happen. So it's not gonna not happen. It's not wrong, it's the right shit. If I try to not do the right thing will happen. Basically is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's Hōjō Tokiyuki's curse technique, Lucky Fugitive, where all attacks aimed and directed at Tokiyuki will miss, not because they just miss, but because Murphy's Law is applied to any attack directed at him, which means anything with the attack that can go wrong will go wrong as applied to Tokiyuki. So it will never hit him if that was the intended purpose of the attack. And then he has curse technique reversal, which he applies positive energy to his curse technique or his negative energy, thereby flipping, reversing the effects of Lucky Fugitive, turning it into Ill-Fated Captive, where he can go on the offensive, and if he keeps trying to not hit you, he will hit you. So yeah, broken. And he doesn't have any other like projectile. He just uses a sword or curse tools, whatever, punches, and he still has, you know, base curse technique stuff like putting curse technique in your fist, or curse energy in your fist and attacking and do all that stuff. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this ability. Pretty broken. If you can find a way to stop both curse techniques, Lucky Fugitive and Ill-Fated Captive, let me know. I would love to discuss it. I would love to know like his best counter, the person that in the series that is his best counter. I would like to know who that is. So yeah, that's the video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and as always guys, I will catch you in the next one. Take care of yourself. Peace.
攻撃いつか自分も犠牲無人島じゃないけどもここ限界この歌詞 SOS